On Crush 92.5 in San Luis Obispo County, northern Santa Barbara County, and soon to be heard live up in Monterey, Santa Cruz, and portions of Santa Clara County. We'll give you more details on that as the deal gets finalized, but we're very excited to expand the program. And of course, you can always catch us via your iPhone, Android apps, and online at eatdrinkexplore.com. If you didn't know, you can actually watch the show. It's a radio show, but we do a video simulcast, and it's kind of fun. You get a little added information that way if you have the ability to step in front of a computer. But if you're in the car or you're just making breakfast listening to Crush, very good morning to you. Hope your day's off to a good start. We are broadcasting live from downtown San Luis Obispo. We keep it fun, healthy, sustainable here at Eat, Drink, Explore Radio, so you can get the most out of your precious leisure time. Our goal is to make sure you are informed at the end of the day. Just ahead on today's program, we'll get the inside scoop on the best Central Coast wine country spots for sampling wine flights. You know, it's sort of like a sample set. And you can go wine tasting and do one at a time, but sometimes it's nice to have the whole array out in front of you. And in this case, our expert is not just focusing on wine. There are some places in the Paso area that do soda drinks that way as well. Also, we'll discuss eating and your children. Now, would you say that your kid or kids have a good relationship with food? We'll let you know how to turn a picky eater into a regular foodie. And I could see our co-host, Patty Pyburn, nodding over there. Her children, Quillen and Dresden, do indeed have a good...
They are upcoming
foodies. She's not potted up. Go ahead.
They are upcoming foodies.
They are, for sure. And I was at what I'd say like 6 or 7 years ago when they were rather young, preteen. I was so shocked Patty would be like, well, we just got back from sushi and Quillen ordered the whatever. And I'm like, what? I thought that was pretty cool that they were not turning their nose up. If there's anything to be as a kid to turn your nose up to, it'd be raw fish.
One, but I can't wait to hear what the expert has to say.
Yeah, this woman, she's with something called Nourish Schools, and she just has some great tips, so it'll be exciting to speak with her. Also, our resident travel agent, Brent Myers.
Yes, indeed.
He's in with our travel deal segment today with tips on getting the best airline deals. Also, details on why ticket prices, listen to this, are expected to drop by as much as 20% next month. So if you haven't booked your holiday trips yet, or maybe a nice fall getaway, you're going to want to listen to this segment for sure. And then next hour, our compass word is flight, which actually, when you think about it, this hour, we're talking wine flights and we're talking discounted flights. So we have a little bit of the word worked into this hour. But next hour, it'll include a hip 70s themed cocktail lounge in downtown Sacramento, the state which bills itself as first in flight, and the top airport restaurants in the country. Airports have really come around.
I was going to say, are there such things?
There are. Some top-named chefs have been opening restaurants within airports. Gone are the days when it was just a food desert.
The next thing you're going to tell me is there's some gourmet food on an airplane.
Not yet.
Okay,
but we are going to talk about that, Patty, as a matter of fact, in just a moment, about why why we can't taste as well when we're flying.
Is it that we can't taste, or is the food a little on the tasteless side?
It's that there's science behind it. Okay. Scientifically, we do not taste as well, but that's an hour from now when we talk about that.
Okay, well, all right. Yeah. Good stuff. I'll be listening.
Hey, we should let you know that this hour of Eat, Drink, Explore Radio is brought to you by Eberly Winery in Paso Robles, open daily from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. with complimentary wine tasting and cave tours, voted by Wine Spectator. Hey, not shabby if you can get in on the top of a Wine Spectator pick as one of the best tours on the Central Coast. Eberly Winery is located on 46 East, one of the main thoroughfares in Paso there, just about 3 miles east of Highway 101 there in Paso Robles. Log on to eberlywinery.com, and when you go in there for your tasting today or tomorrow, let them know you heard about it on Eat, Drink, Explore Radio. All right, Patty Pyburn sent me a little note the other day. I don't have my little sound folder open, so we're not going to get a sound.
Applause,
no sound introduction. I could find it if I really look around. Oh, here it is. It's right at the bottom of my computer screen. And
we're working on it.
It's right here. Okay, so here we go. We have to have that little groovy sounder. It's not as fun. So at any rate, about, I want to say roughly 4 years ago or so, it became very en vogue to buy your food from a food truck in the Bay Area and Los Angeles. In fact, I'd go back even farther. In the Bay Area when I was working up there in the early 2000s. There was this one taco truck that I just had to go to, and everyone was like, "Isn't that the best?"
And it was like the secret kind of, if
Yes.
you were in the know, if you were in,
Right.
you knew.
So Patty sent me a little news story. This is by Reuters, and if I know Reuters, at the bottom they always say, "Yeah, here it is. Reuters has not endorsed this list," but it is by virtualtourist.com is where Reuters got its information. So these are the top 10 cities for street food.
Okay.
And I will be surprised if a West Coast city is not included on this, because I feel like the trend kind of started.
Well,
here.
let's see if you're right. I just glanced through it last night, and I have to say it was like 1 or 2 in the morning. I guess that was this morning. So you'll have to refresh my memory.
Okay, so we will start at number 10, and this is an international list, so that might throw things a little bit, but beachside ceviche in Ambergris, Belize.
Belize. That part I know. Never been there, but oh my gosh, one of the places on my list of places I'd like to go.
Is
Beautiful, Belize.
Don't they speak English in Belize?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, which always throws people a little bit. Really? All right, Brussels, Belgium. We have a good friend who was born there,
Yes.
Adrian.
Yeah.
And so Brussels.
Good
Get some
street food in Brussels. Okay.
Yeah, roasted Brussels sprouts.
I knew you were going to say
Oh,
it.
did you? Okay. Mexico City, Mexico. I've had street food there,
Yeah.
and it was delicious. I spent the next day on the toilet, but that's another story.
Oh, that is for another show.
Istanbul, Turkey. I really want to go
Oh.
there. Number 6, Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam.
Oh,
I
okay.
bet that's awesome.
Of course.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Amazing.
Number 5 is Palermo, Sicily. Palermo. And then Marrakech, Morocco.
Okay.
I've been to Morocco, but not to Marrakech. Malaysia, Penang, Malaysia.
okay.
So far, these are like all off of my radar.
Yeah, but you could just eat your way through, right?
Right.
Just thinking, Vietnamese food? Yes. Italian
like
food?
it.
Okay, sign me up.
Number 2 is Bangkok, Singapore.
Okay. We have not gotten to the West Coast city.
We haven't gotten to the United States. And then, I'm sorry. Number 2 was Singapore. Number 1 is Bangkok, Thailand. So,
okay. We did not make the list, Randall.
I don't have the sound effect ready, so I'll
But,
just make it.
at the top of next hour, we're talking about food trucks. There's some food truck news coming at you at 9 o'clock.
Well, I will look forward to that. Sorry, Patty ended her sentence, and I still had the coffee cup in my face. And thank you for the coffee. Anthony went downstairs to Pete's to grab that for me.
Yeah, and Nicole, thank you for mine. And Curtis, thank you for the sugar.
It's a team effort here at Eat, Drink, Explore Radio every morning. All right, stick around because Matt Brown, he is the lifestyle expert from Paso Robles. He's in talking wine flights in just a moment. You're listening to Eat, Drink, Explore Radio. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back shortly. Did you know our weekly Saturday morning radio show also has a video simulcast on Ustream? You can watch it live or view pre-recorded versions while on the go by simply downloading our free Eat, Drink, Explore app for your smartphone or tablet device. To find it, just head to Google Play or the Apple App Store and search Eat, Drink, Explore. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Get the latest audio, video, and breaking news from Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Curious about information you've heard on today's show? Just head to eatdrinkexplore.com and head to the weekly program summary section under the radio tab. We always list the websites and any other important facts associated with each of our guests we have on the program. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Thank you for being a regular listener to the Eat, Drink, Explore radio program. If you have any feedback for us, we'd love to hear it. Simply send a note to radio@eatdrinkexplore.com. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Get the latest audio, video, and breaking news from Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Curious about information you've heard on today's show? Just head to eatdrinkexplore.com and head to the weekly program summary section under the radio tab. We always list the websites and any other important facts associated with each of our guests we have on the program. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back shortly. Did you know our weekly Saturday morning radio show also has a video simulcast on Ustream? You can watch it live or view pre-recorded versions while on the go by simply downloading our free Eat, Drink, Explore app for your smartphone or tablet device. To find it, just head to Google Play or the Apple App Store and search Eat, Drink, Explore. Hey, good morning, everyone. Great to have you joining us here on Eat, Drink, Explore Radio. It is a Saturday morning, 8:19 the time, as we broadcast live from downtown San Luis Obispo. I'll tell you what, it was socked in with fog at my house this morning. I rode my bike in to work, and I got about halfway here. I got to that Madonna path that connects the one side of town with the other. We'll talk about how that connects to Marsh Street at some point. It is a rat's nest of horribleness. It was not planned well, and I got honked at by a car today, and I was totally...
You were in the right.
I was doing exactly as I'm supposed to do by the law, by what a San Luis Obispo police officer told me I was supposed to do, and I got honked at by a car, and that's so frustrating because there's no two-way dialogue. I can't tell the car.
Honk. You need to get one of those.
I know. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and I'm a driver. I put far more miles on my car than I do on my bike, so I'm not one of those bikes against cars, but... just know that if you're coming off the freeway at Marsh Street, and if there's a bike that's like coming right in that same zone, that's their only option. They have to be there. Yeah.
Yield. You have to watch out.
At some point, hopefully, the city will correct that because it is just thank
snarl.
Thank you, Madonna family, for putting in that path. But it really did create kind of a weird situation. Now that I have that said, okay.
And there was a lot of fog.
That's right. That's where I got started on that whole conversation. There was fog at my house. As soon as I got to the Madonna path, the sky opened up, and it's brilliant and sunny in downtown.
That happened for me on my drive-in, too.
Did it? Uh-huh. We were in Morro Bay yesterday shooting a piece on stand-up paddle boards.
Can't wait to see it.
So much fun, I have to tell you. And there was fog to start the day, and then it burned off. And that seems to be our pattern this summer. You know, sometimes during the summer you can get those really thick days where it hangs around forever. We haven't had much of that, and we haven't had the extreme heat waves either. It's just been
middle of the road,
which
Love
the rest
you,
of
California.
Yeah, the rest of the country sure would enjoy. And earlier this week in Sacramento, they had the coolest day on record for that day, the lowest high temperature I know that
Right,
that's
yes.
hard to say, but I think it was 74 or 75
The best
degrees.
of the worst.
Yeah. My parents were just like, yay, but they said the farmers were not happy about it.
Oh.
Okay, it is time now for us to hear from the critics. The moment in the show when we turn the conversation over to those experts around the globe whose specialty it is to know about fine wine, craft beer, restaurants, hotels, lifestyle. And today it is Matt Brown in Paso Robles. He is our lifestyle expert. And if you have never followed him, he's got great blogs, Twitter feeds, Facebook postings, you name it. He's got it all down. Matt, nice to have you on the show.
Thank you. I just like being called an expert. That's kind of fun.
Well, you know, last month, Matt gave us his picks for the best patios and decks in northern San Luis Obispo County. Boy, that article on our site got a lot of hits, Matt. And this week, you are running down a list of spots that offer flight tastings of beverages on their menus, which happens to keep theme with our compass word in the next hour, but we thought, why not, bleed over a little bit into this hour. So flight tastings, I understand one of the locations, Matt, that you're choosing, it's not wine flights, it's like soda flights?
Yes, it's a local tasting room that obviously they have wine, but that's their main thing, but they also have a soda flight that you can do.
So for the designated drivers, or if there may be some
Or
children
youngins.
or youngins, or just people that are choosing not to drink, they can play along.
Well, yeah, for some silly reason, if you don't want to consume alcohol, yeah, you can have the soda plate.
Are they specialty sodas that they make?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So the name of the company is actually Pithy Little Wine Company, and then they have their soda thing is called Pithy Little Soda Works. And then,
Pithy used to be located in downtown San Luis.
yes, you know them.
Yeah, and they moved up to Paso, and they're doing well up there.
Yeah, they're about a block off the park. From all outward appearance, it seems like they're doing great up here.
Good for them, because it was fun to visit when they were here, and I assumed they would do well up there because they really positioned themselves right into that whole wine tasting hotspot.
Well, they just do amazing marketing as well. Just the labels, just everything they have going on in there is just awesome. And the soda thing is a great compliment to it.
Do you know any of the flavors, the soda flavors that they have?
Well, I knew you'd ask, so I wrote them down.
Okay.
So, yeah, they have everything from cola to root beer, black cherry, cream soda, and orange cream.
That sounds good. Some of the more old-fashioned flavors. I like
traditional.
That. Uh-huh.
Does sound really good.
No sarsaparilla?
Yeah. Well, even the labels on their bottles are pretty kind of old school, kind of retro looking.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it fits in.
I like that. Okay, and then throw us another option.
Another one you could go to would be Pony Club at Hotel Cheval. They do flights. Then every week or so they have, a wine maker come in and pour wine and all that. So they do flights on those nights as well.
Okay, and that's at Hotel Cheval. I haven't been in there, but I have some good friends. Kira and Luke, our good friends, have stayed there and said they love the hotel.
It's a super small boutique. I believe it's 16 rooms. We've been through the courtyard and it's just, gorgeous. But obviously living in downtown Paso, we don't have the need to stay there. But it's, it's a beautiful spot. And bar, Pony Club right next door to it is, just a great tie-in for them. Great patio. I think I might have mentioned them as one of my favorite patios last month when I talked to you as well.
Yeah. And then your next pick?
Via Creek Restaurant, right across from the park downtown.
Via Creek. Is that the one where you can sit on the sidewalk? They have sidewalk seating?
They do have sidewalk seating. They also have kind of a courtyard patio in the back. So, multiple choices.
And these are wine flights. Do you get to pick off of a menu? Like you say, like the wine flight includes, 4 or 5 samples, and you get to pick those? Or is it a set, their flights are set?
I think most of the time it's something where it's kind of set and they give you different options. I'm sure, depending on where you go, that they, do something more custom. Being somebody that likes to drink wine, I tend to want a full glass, not the flight. So I don't know specifics on some of that. But,
right.
That'll be my next adventure, I guess.
Speaking of your next adventure, do you have another one for us?
Artisan Restaurant, couple blocks off the park. They do the same kind of deal, wine flights, and I'm pretty sure, I think those are set as well.
Okay, Artisan, is that Kobayashi? Is that the chef there? I'm just throwing out a name.
Well, I'll go ahead and help you out. It's Mike and Chris Kobayashi. Chris is the chef. Mike is his brother who runs the front of the house. Great team, great food. I'm sure you've been there. Good stuff. I mean, it's all, they're very into the local, organic, sustainable, support your local farmers, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I have to say I feel out of the loop because I haven't been there, but clearly I've kept up on it because I remembered the name, and I think the chef came down from the Bay Area, right?
Yeah, they're from up north. Not sure of specifics, but oh man, you have to get in there. I don't know what you're waiting for.
I know. What am I waiting for? We'll go up there, and the two of us and your lovely wife as well. We can all go out to eat and enjoy a meal there. Anthony, our producer, as soon as you mentioned artisan, he looked over and gave the big thumbs up. It's like, yum.
Yeah. I haven't been there either, so can I come along?
Patty, you are. Yes, you can.
Okay.
And your foodie children.
Can I mention a flight?
And if we invite any more people, we're going to have to take out a small loan.
Wait, Matt, are you paying?
That's to be decided, I guess. Huh?
Right. Matt Brown, he is our lifestyle expert, shows up on the show about once a month to give us his picks for the Paso Robles area. You can follow their blog at Hoot and then the letter N, AnnieBlog.com. Of course, a link is always available at eatdrinkexplore.com under our program summaries. Matt, thank you so much, sir. Much appreciated.
Very good. I appreciate it.
All right, so Miss Pyburn, are you a flight woman? Do you like to do the wine flights or samples?
I do. I was going to say, can I mention my own flight that I just want to throw in?
Yeah.
Cupcakes and wine in Los Olivos.
Oh.
I just... Love it.
You did a piece on that for KCOY, what, like 2 years ago?
Probably about 2 years ago. Yeah. They're going strong. Well, I just am amazed. Amber, who makes the cupcakes, comes up with a new flavor theme every week. And then
she chooses the wines.
And it's all paired up. Mm-hmm. And I think that she has not yet duplicated. She has a couple of ones she goes back to. I think one that is made with... red wine, Cabernet, I think. But she has new flavors every week.
I hate when I say but I just did it. All right, Patty, much appreciated. Hey, when we come back, picky eaters, you don't have to worry about that, but a lot of people listening know some, and we will talk about how to turn that picky eater into a regular foodie. You're listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network. I'm your host, Randall White, and we are back in just a moment. Hope your Saturday is off to a great start. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back shortly. Did you know our weekly Saturday morning radio show also has a video simulcast on Ustream? You can watch it live or view pre-recorded versions while on the go by simply downloading our free Eat, Drink, Explore app for your smartphone or tablet device. To find it, just head to Google Play or the Apple App Store and search Eat, Drink, Explore. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Get the latest audio, video, and breaking news from Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Curious about information you've heard on today's show? Just head to eatdrinkexplore.com and head to the weekly program summary section under the radio tab. We always list the websites and any other important facts associated with each of our guests we have on the program. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Thank you for being a regular listener to the Eat, Drink, Explore radio program. If you have any feedback for us, we'd love to hear it. Simply send a note to radio@eatdrinkexplore.com. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Get the latest audio, video, and breaking news from Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Curious about information you've heard on today's show? Just head to eatdrinkexplore.com and head to the weekly program summary section under the radio tab. We always list the websites and any other important facts associated with each of our guests we have on the program. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back shortly. Did you know our weekly Saturday morning radio show also has a video simulcast on Ustream? You can watch it live or view pre-recorded versions while on the go by simply downloading our free Eat, Drink, Explore app for your smartphone or tablet device. To find it, just head to Google Play or the Apple App Store and search Eat, Drink, Explore. And a very good Saturday morning to you. Hope your day is going well thus far. Relaxing, enjoyable start. I'm your host, Randall White, and we discuss food, wine, craft beer, travel, tourism every Saturday at this time right here on Crush 92.5. And when it comes to eating, we've all at one point or another had to deal with somebody who simply doesn't want to try anything new. Many times there's a child involved. Not always, though. We have some friends that fall into that category as well. But if the menu item is not how mom makes it or something different than he or she is accustomed to, it simply won't get eaten. There are any number of scenarios to this problem, but you get the general idea. Joining us now to help your child build a better relationship with food, possibly even with solutions to turn your picky eater into a regular foodie, is food expert Casey Seidenberg with Nourish Schools, an organization specializing in child and family nutrition. Welcome to the program, Casey.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Randall. I really am looking forward to chatting.
Yeah, I am too, and I'm looking forward to getting this information out to a lot of parents, aunts, uncles, grandparents who know exactly what we're talking about. And I would have to say, after looking at your list of suggestions that you sent me the other day, it's probably more of a list of what not to do as opposed to what to do.
It is. You know, I sent you 5 main things that I think parents can kind of either do or not do to help their children develop a healthy relationship with food. Mm-hmm. And so some of them are just really breaking bad behaviors that I witness all the time with parents and families and grandparents and aunts and uncles, and as you mentioned. So many of these habits are things to either create or to break.
And we carry these things through to adulthood for sure. I know that food is still used as a reward in my marriage. And in many other adult relationships, you know, oh, if you do that for me, I'll take you out to lunch. You know, you hear people say all the time. Or if you know, and so, but it starts in childhood, right?
You know, I believe it does. I believe that most of our patterns, for better or worse, do begin in childhood. And I really believe that food, especially unhealthful food, you know, should not be used as a reward. Or for that, you know, as a punishment either. And, you know, a common incentive, like you said, that I hear all the time is I hear parents say, eat your vegetables and then you can have dessert. Mm-hmm. And to me, that clearly communicates to children that vegetables are to be avoided. Right. And that desserts are to be desired. And that's not necessarily the message that we want to convey. There's nothing wrong with loving a dessert, but we also want to teach our kids to love a good vegetable.
If you eat all of that chocolate sundae, you can have the asparagus.
And that, you know, that might work. I haven't tried that one. I think that's a great approach. But I also think that food shouldn't be used as punishment. And I think taking away dessert is a very, very common discipline tactic for parents. And again, that sends the wrong message. It sends the message that dessert is the desired prize.
Right.
And, that's not going to help a picky eater or a child to eat more healthful food.
Also, if you're doing it right, your desserts can be just as healthy as the other courses.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing, I really think for children, to teach children that a piece of watermelon or a delicious ripe peach can be just as delicious as a chocolate creation. I mean, that's important because those wonderful ripe fruits can be absolutely just as tasty and sweet.
Casey, if you get a peach that is in season, and right now we are in stone fruit season, it can be one of the best tasting things you've ever had. I can't even think of a dessert that could be put together that would be as satisfying as a perfectly ripe peach.
I absolutely agree with you, and I love this season for that reason.
Oh, I know, me too. we are going through boxes of peaches right now at home.
I love it.
I put it in the cereal. I do, any way I can. They're good in salads, as a matter of fact. Lately I've gotten into that mixing savory and sweet in the salad. Strawberries
They're
go
great
well.
on pizza too.
Yes, and roasted like on a grill. Grilled
Absolutely.
peaches are delicious.
Oh, delicious.
Okay, so one thing that would fall into the category that you were just discussing about, like a peach being a dessert, is labeling food as bad. Like we think of dessert as bad, but you're saying don't put labels on foods?
I really think we shouldn't. I think that labeling a food as bad can actually cause children to feel guilty or even bad themselves when they eat it. And I mean, think about even in adulthood. We've probably all at some point experienced an overindulgence in a food that's not the best for us, and we felt guilty the next day.
Right.
And it's not a good feeling. We shouldn't feel guilty that we enjoyed something, and we don't really want to create that feeling in our children. We don't want to create that guilt in them. And I think that it's much more positive to instead label unhealthful foods bad. Why don't we label them sometimes foods? Because they really are the foods that we should only eat sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I think that everybody, how many times have we heard the expression, everything's okay in moderation? And I think it's true. I think it's absolutely true. Everything is okay sometimes. And so for a child, to hear that everything is, that's a sometimes food, that they can eat it sometimes, is not going to make them feel so bad about it. And then we're conveying an important message that, other food is better for us or more healthful for us, but that there's really nothing out there that's terrible or bad. And in my experience, I have 3 young children, and I think often kids will want a food even more enthusiastically if it becomes off limits. And, so if we say to them that they can never have something because it's bad, for many children, they may start wanting it more, and that's not something that we actually want to create.
No, and I just had this experience yesterday. I had a delicious breakfast burrito from a place called The Rock Espresso Cafe in Morro Bay, and I said to Anthony, who was helping me shoot this piece there, I just had that breakfast burrito, and I was feeling guilty about eating this burrito because it had like bacon and stuff in it. And so I was feeling that guilt that you're talking about after I ate it. But I haven't had a breakfast burrito in a month, so
Right.
It is a sometimes food. I like that. I'm learning.
And, why don't we enjoy, I believe that food should be enjoyed, so I think there's a time and a place for everything. So there's a time for a little bit of overindulgence or too much bacon, but it's not all the time. It's just sometimes. And I think along the lines, I often witness parents labeling unhealthful food as treats.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that that's the right message either. They're constantly saying, oh, you can have 1 treat a day, or let's go get you a treat because you got hurt, or something like that. And the definition of a treat is an unhealthful food. And this, again, is sending that same message that, the unhealthful foods are more desirable than the healthful ones.
Yeah.
And that's just reinforcing the wrong message.
The old adage that we heard a lot growing up is the finish everything on your plate. So basically
Right.
forcing a child to eat. Why would that not be a good situation?
I think that we as parents, we really want to teach our kids how to listen to their bodies. They're not going to be with us for for eternity. So they need to really learn how to determine when they are truly hungry and when they are not.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually an incredible skill that I think many of us adults don't have. So we eat unconsciously and we eat too much, or we don't eat when we're really hungry. We just are off. And we don't know how to listen to our bodies. And a child who is forced to eat may never learn what it feels like to be actually hungry or truly full, and how to listen to his or her body. And, I believe just like adults, sometimes kids just aren't hungry, and that's fine. We don't need to force them to eat those 5 more bites or clear their plate, as you say. I'm actually a huge proponent of having a 1-bite rule at your table, so that kids are required to try 1 bite of everything on their plate, but then they're not forced to actually eat any large amounts when they're not hungry. So we're exposing them to food and encouraging them to try new things and have opinions about how it tastes, but we're not forcing them to eat anything when they're either not hungry or they don't like it.
Great information. We're speaking with food expert Casey Seidenberg. She's with Nourish Schools, which I want to talk about in just a little bit. Tell us a little bit about how Nourish Schools works. But I want to continue down this list of tips you have. And this next one is not a don't, but a do. Be a good role model. And I have to tell you, Casey, this one my parents did very well. They made it exciting to try new and exotic foods, whether it be sushi or Chinese or, different Latin American dishes. It was, as kids, we were taught that it was exciting to try these different foods as opposed to, ew, that's different.
And look where you are. Look at your work.
Yes. No, I know.
There
It's
you
so
go.
true. I am a product of my parents for sure.
Right. I agree. I think that it's really important for parents to model good eating for their children and exploratory eating and enthusiastic eating. And, kids they are watching what we're doing. So it's one thing for us to just say, it's important to eat healthy food for these reasons, but it's another thing to actually show them that we enjoy that healthful food. They notice if we're leaving our vegetables on our plate and just eating the pasta, they notice things like that. And in my perspective, we have a very fixed period of time with our children while they're in our home and while we have the opportunity to teach them. So now's a great time. Be a good role model. Show them how much joy you get in eating something that's healthy and how good it makes you feel and how you have all this energy. I also think part of being a role model is actually sitting and eating with your children. And I know that modern work schedules make it really, really difficult sometimes to get home for dinner, especially when children are young and they eat fairly early. But even once a week, I think if parents could actually eat together with their children, would have an impact, and even more than that would be great, because it makes children feel special, like they're part of the family, and it really unifies a family. And we've all heard this, but studies show it helps with vocabulary and social skills and conversational skills and table manners, just sitting around a table like that.
It's so fun, too, to sit around and have that conversation. And that kind of ties into your final one. We only have about a minute left to discuss this, that holidays are about spending time with friends, not about a lot of food treats.
Yes, this one actually I think is very important. So teaching children that a holiday or a celebration is about spending time with friends, as you said, or participating in an activity or being active, enjoying people's company, instead of just simply consuming a lot of food and drink. This is an important message. I look at it when my kids are teenagers and they win a sports championship, or young adults and they get a promotion. I don't want them to go out there and just overconsume food and drink as celebration. I want them to know that there are other ways to celebrate. And, I actually witness this all the time in schools where the children's holiday parties consist of almost no games or activities, very little movement, very little interaction with one another, and instead it's just tables of cupcakes and brownies and juice. The kids are barely interacting. They're just eating. And
Casey, I got to cut you off there. Unfortunately, you have so much great information. We could have had you on for 2 segments. Casey Seidenberg with Nourish Schools. It is nourishschools.com. Of course, we have a link at eatdrinkexplore.com. Casey, we have to have you back on in the future, okay?
I'd love it. Thank you so much, Randall.
All right, we're back with our travel deals up next. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back shortly. Did you know our weekly Saturday morning radio show also has a video simulcast on Ustream? You can watch it live or view pre-recorded versions while on the go by simply downloading our free Eat, Drink, Explore app for your smartphone or tablet device. To find it, just head to Google Play or the Apple App Store and search Eat, Drink, Explore. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Get the latest audio, video, and breaking news from Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Curious about information you've heard on today's show? Just head to eatdrinkexplore.com and head to the weekly program summary section under the radio tab. We always list the websites and any other important facts associated with each of our guests we have on the program. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Thank you for being a regular listener to the Eat, Drink, Explore radio program. If you have any feedback for us, we'd love to hear it. Simply send a note to radio@eatdrinkexplore.com. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Get the latest audio, video, and breaking news from Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Curious about information you've heard on today's show? Just head to eatdrinkexplore.com and head to the weekly program summary section under the radio tab. We always list the websites and any other important facts associated with each of our guests we have on the program. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back shortly. Did you know our weekly Saturday morning radio show also has a video simulcast on Ustream? You can watch it live or view pre-recorded versions while on the go by simply downloading our free Eat, Drink, Explore app for your smartphone or tablet device. To find it, just head to Google Play or the Apple App Store and search Eat, Drink, Explore.
You've waited all week, and it's finally here. The Eat, Drink, Explore Weekly Travel Deals Extravaganza.
And a good day, everyone. I'm your host, Randall White. It is time to hear insight from the best of the best, the gurus of bargains, the luminaries of budget travel. And this week, we are discussing the best airfare deals out there. You might say flights, because that is our compass word next hour. And we welcome our regular contributor to the segment, Mr. Brant Myers with Gulliver's Travel in San Luis Obispo. Welcome back to the show.
Morning, Randall. Thanks for having me.
I apologize that the sun is such so that it is streaming right in on your face. If you need to put your sunglasses on, feel comfortable in doing that.
I feel cooler, but I'm fine. Thank you.
All right. Okay, Brant, let's start with, I think people are so flummoxed when it comes to airfare prices. They think, am I getting a good deal? All they can really base it on is the last time they paid for a similar trip, and they can know they got either a better deal or a worse deal. But you can have two people sitting on a plane, and one person paid, $210 for that flight, and the person sitting next to him might have paid $389, So there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason, but there is.
There is and there isn't.
Okay.
Just like you said, there's little small factors, and there's huge factors, and then there's unknown factors.
Okay.
You could get the president of Orbitz and Expedia in here, and they couldn't tell you why a price went up or why a price goes down. But there are certain factors that help you kind of narrow that down. There's some general rules that if you follow, you'll definitely be getting the lowest fare possible.
Okay, so let's go ahead and start with those general rules then. What would be one of your first?
Well, it's what everybody wants to know. Flights are pretty much the point A to point B, and it's the thing that nobody really wants to do. When you go on a trip, you're not sitting there going, oh boy, I get to spend 4 hours in an airplane.
No. No.
So the cheaper and the less painful it is, the better. And some of these tips are more widely known and some are less known, but definitely the day of the week that you buy your flights on. They release inventory on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, sometimes Tuesday at midnight. So if you're checking Wednesday morning, first thing, you're going to see that new wave of seats. And even a bigger scale than that, the new wave of seats, and when they release that inventory, that could be months out. So you're playing the day game of the week, and then you're playing the month game, and then you're paying the weeks out. So definitely don't buy anything within 3 weeks of your flight. It keeps going exponential. The 3-week mark, the 2-week mark, the 1-week mark.
They keep going up.
Keep going up and up and up. So what you really want to do is you want to start looking about 6 to 3 months out. You start looking a year out, and it's going to be the highest. Absolutely high. Just might as well be 2 days before your flight.
Because they know essentially anyone booking that far out is absolutely planning on whatever, they're a planner and they're going to do what they're going to do at that point. And so if you're buying your ticket a year in advance, then they're going to sell that seat anyway. So let's go ahead and put what I would call in the hotel industry, the rack rate on it.
Exactly. And it's, basic bargaining. Why not put something out there really expensive when you have time to sell it? See if a couple people bite on it. And then when they start getting desperate, just like a hotel, any empty seat, any empty room, that's going to be lost inventory. So they start getting more desperate, more desperate, more desperate. But then there's that dividing line where then the clients, the traveler,
is the desperate one.
A desperate one. So you got to find that sweet spot. And I guess the best rule of thumb, and this is something that people don't really consider because you're always just looking for that best deal. And it's like playing stocks. So it could go up, but it could go down, but it could most likely go up. So what you want to do is you want to find out what you want to pay for your flight. That's the one thing that I really recommend to people that it just doesn't normally happen. I say, I want to go here to here, and I think that should be about $600, and that's what I want to pay. When you see it for $600, buy it. Don't wait, because it could be $800, and then you're going to be crying, and you don't want to do that.
Is there a good way to know what a good price would be so that you have that I want to pay X amount? I guess it would be to ask your travel agent, right?
Yeah, actually, I'm kind of kicking myself for saying this, but the same general rule applies. You either talk to a travel agent, which has the years of experience. You sit there every single day, and your mind is processing that. You know the trends. There's also a couple websites out there like Airfare Watchdog, Google, Bing. They have matrices that will tell you the fluctuation. It'll have a little graph. It'll kind of show you, okay, the trending is a rise right now. The trending is a low. So you can follow it just like a stock market.
Let me give you an example. Say I came to you and I wanted to book a flight from Los Angeles to New York, round trip. And I would say to you, what window would I consider to be a fair price for that or a good price for that? What would you tell me?
Well, like I said, it's whatever you're willing to pay. There's a good price for it. But,
based on what you see day in and day out, what would be a good price?
I would probably say $600 if you're flexible. You can get $500 if you're,
round trip to New York?
Round trip to New York.
Out of LA?
Out of LA.
Because I'd want to spend like $300.
Exactly.
Is what I'm thinking.
Well, you can, and that's another thing. The day of the week that you purchase your ticket is just as important as the day of the week that you fly.
Okay.
I can get you to New York and back for $300 if you don't mind flying on a Tuesday, because there's no pleasure travelers.
Right.
There's no business travelers on Tuesdays. The second in line would be a Wednesday. Same deal, where you just don't have that many people. So these airplanes are sitting empty. They want to sell it. Nobody really flies on a Tuesday or Wednesday. And then Saturday was a close third, because you got your business travelers flying on Mondays and Fridays. And then you've got your leisure travelers doing Fridays and Sundays. So anytime that you're not traveling in the peak season, you're going to get an off-peak price.
So if I flew into New York on a Tuesday and back on a Saturday, I might be able to get that $300 deal if I arrive at 4 a.m.
Well, yeah, that's another thing. There are just so many factors. I could go on for about 45 minutes. Just too many factors. Gas prices. Is it low? Then you'll get lower prices. If the gas prices are high, it'll go high. If it's the high season, if it's summer, if it's spring break, if it's holiday season, there's too many things. But really, when it comes down to traveling, you have to travel.
Yeah.
And you have to travel when you have to travel. And that's really the reality of life. So, just try to kind of work with it. And like I said, if you look 6 months out and you keep looking for about 3 months, then you're going to find a decent rate and jump on it when you can.
For months now, the experts have been saying air prices are going up, they're going up, they're going up. But I just saw some news that perhaps next month they might go down a bit. What do we know about that?
That's right. The sweet spot is going to be August 20th or 21st, depending on the airline.
Okay, write that down on your calendars, August 20th or 21st.
Yep, and just call your travel agents, get online, try to find those flights immediately. Typically, the summer season lasts a little bit longer. This year, it's being cut short. So the fall prices are going to be lower than the summer prices, and it's nice to have that a little earlier, because then you're still, especially in California, it's beautiful. August, September, that's pretty much our summer. So
we're heading down
enjoy
to a little town called Sayulita, which is just north of Puerto Vallarta, to do a special for this show, to get some video and interview some people and that sort of thing. And we're going at the end of October. So if we wait until the end of August during this period where all of a sudden prices are going to drop a little bit, and we book on a Tuesday,
exactly.
And we fly on a Saturday to Saturday, we might be able to get a pretty sweet deal.
Absolutely. And here's another good savings tip is if you book somewhere like you're going to Puerto Vallarta or somewhere that's a destination, if you do a hotel package, a lot of times I'm finding that these packages pay for themselves. You can go and you can get a flight for $600, or you can get a flight plus 3 nights hotel for $700. So that almost, if you factor it all in, you're getting a really cheap flight or a really cheap hotel. It depends on how you look at it.
Now, so we've covered timing. What about choosing the airline? Is there you hear about bargain airlines, or you have the major carriers like your Uniteds and Deltas and stuff like that. Why are the bargain carriers? How is it that the bargain carriers can give better prices?
Well, they have a very limited area of destinations, and they're kind of how do you say it? They're kind of a bargain, whereas they do it a lot. They sell quantity over quality.
Let's see.
So, you can fly Delta all around the world. You can fly JetBlue to Long Beach.
I see.
So, they have a very small niche that they're covering, and that's why they're doing it. And they're doing it a lot. They're doing it frequently. They're using smaller planes. Fuel costs still factors in there as well.
And then also you can choose here on the Central Coast, you choose your airport. Do you want to drive a little bit? Go to San Jose, Oakland, San Francisco, Burbank, Los Angeles, Orange County, or locally with Santa Maria, San Luis Obispo, Santa Barbara, Monterey. Exactly. So people constantly say, oh, check the Oakland prices, check the San Jose prices, Burbank, you get a better deal. I've never found that. Over and over again, I try, and the best deals always seem to be out of LAX and SFO. Why is that?
That is the general consensus, absolutely. Obviously, it's just because, again, that quantity thing. They just have so many. Think of it like inventory. They have so much inventory that they have to fill.
Right.
San Luis Obispo doesn't have that big of a market. Therefore, they don't have as many flights. You don't have as many flights. You can have people over a barrel, and you're asking whatever you want of them.
They do. They gouge us.
But
I want to fly out of here.
There's a bright side to that. Sometimes you can actually, because they like it when you bundle a lot of flights together, especially on the same airline. So I've actually seen flights that are $20 more flying out of San Luis Obispo to New York, as opposed to going to the Bay Area and flying out. So you always just got to look around, and that's something that a travel agent can obviously help you out with.
Brant, I got to cut you off right there. Great information. We want to let you know Kelly's at the Grill at Hunter Ranch sponsored this hour. Dine Under the Oaks. It's the best kept secret in the Paso Robles area, located just 3 miles from the 101 on 46 East in Paso Robles. Full hour of Eat, Drink, Explore coming up next. Stay tuned. Eat, Drink, Explore Media is your lifestyle information source. Our focus, food, wine, craft beer, travel, and tourism trends, with a slant towards sustainable and healthy options. Whether it's hot deals or tips for hotels and flights, an update on what's currently fresh at your local farmer's market, or the latest restaurant and beverage news, we've got you covered from 8 to 10 each and every Saturday morning. Live on Crush 92.5 in San Luis Obispo County, and online at eatdrinkexplore.com. Also, check out our new free smartphone and tablet app. Simply search 3 words, Eat, Drink, Explore, either in Google Play on your Android device or in the App Store on your iPhone or iPad. This free app gives you access to contests, past radio segments, our Facebook and Twitter feeds, and you can watch live video of the radio broadcast while listening to it here on The Crush. Eat, Drink, Explore Media, your source for the lifestyle you love. It's the top of the hour and time once again for the latest from the Eat, Drink, Explore news desk.
News on this Saturday morning. City leaders, restaurants, and food truck vendors are working on a deal to resolve issues surrounding Sacramento's food truck craze. City staffers are drafting an ordinance that will eventually go to the city council. Truck vendors want the city to ease up on curfews and a 30-minute limit on how long they can park in one spot. Restaurants are worried about food trucks cutting into their business. Today, the city is holding its 5th, okay, I didn't make up the name, Sacto Mofo. That's for mobile food truck fair happening today. Hey, if you're not in the Sacramento area, but you're heading off to Los Angeles, that's the site of the 3rd annual Street Food Fest this weekend at the Rose Bowl. Gourmet food trucks, street carts, famous restaurants, and chefs all coming together presenting their wares later on today. You'll hear live music, plenty of room out there for a picnic. This food fest features 65 vendors, many of them from the local area. It also includes a cook-off, and you can find more information at lastreetfoodfest.com. We'll put a link on Eat, Drink, Explore for you as well. And let the yogurt wars begin. Greek yogurt's been growing in popularity in recent years. The HuffPost reports critics now are upset that some of the products being called Greek are not authentic and rely on thickening agents to achieve the thick, creamy consistency of real Greek yogurt. The U.S. has a $5 billion yogurt market, and Greek yogurt accounts for about 28% of it. Now, one of the big producers, General Mills, the maker of Yoplait, is the target of a lawsuit claiming its Greek yogurt product relies on a thickener. Well, we were just hearing about summer airfare from Brant Myers from Gulliver's Travel in San Luis Obispo. And as you just heard, summer airfare is going to be losing its altitude. Fare Compare reports ticket prices tend to drop at the end of the summer around September and predicts this year some of those price drops will start in August. Now, depending on the airline, and you just heard plenty of detail about this, prices you may find on those tickets dropping 10 to 20%. And many of those decreases are a result of a drop in summer surcharges. CraftBeerConnect.com is launching a craft beer club, the first and only of its kind, focused solely on Southern California craft breweries. Now, this site offers more than 200 beers selected from 26 breweries in Southern California. The cost for members, about $25 to $50 a month, depending on your level. And the site offers a community for beer lovers to share, connect, and read reviews. Starbucks going into the juice business, planning to open an Evolution Fresh location in San Francisco soon. The company already has 2 locations in Washington State, in Seattle and Bellevue. And the company also has plans to open up a tea shop featuring many flavors of tea drinks. I believe that's their Tazo tea. All right, Nicole Powers joining us now. A recent study you're going to tell us about, Nicole.
Thanks, Patty. A study was just released from Seattle, specifically for women wanting to lose weight. This was a 1-year study conducted with over 100 overweight to obese postmenopausal women, and they found that keeping a food journal is the number 1 piece of advice for losing weight. And here's what the first author of the study had to say.
It just forces people to be more accountable to their dietary intake, to pay closer attention to their diet because they're constantly documenting everything that they eat. So when you keep that level of detail, you're able to, see what you're doing and also make adjustments throughout the day.
That was Dr. Angela Kong of the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center. And she also says that it's important not to skip meals and avoid eating out, especially at lunchtime. The study found women who ate out for lunch at least once weekly lost on average 5 fewer pounds than those who ate out less regularly. And women who kept a food journal lost 6 pounds more than those who did not. Although this study was focused on women ages 50 to 75, Dr. Kong suggests a food journal for anyone trying to lose weight and says there is similar research out there that's been done supporting food journaling for men as well.
All right, Nicole, thank you for that report.
Yeah.
And taking a quick look at our weather, hot, dry weather for much of the U.S. The East Coast seeing some stormy conditions, and the same happening for much of the South. Here on the Central Coast in California, we have beautiful weather. Get out there and explore.
Eat, Drink, Explore Media is your lifestyle information source. Our focus, food, wine, craft beer, travel, and tourism trends, with a slant towards sustainable and healthy options. Whether it's hot deals or tips for hotels and flights, an update on what's currently fresh at your local farmer's market, or the latest restaurant and beverage news, we've got you covered from 8 to 10 each and every Saturday morning. Live on Crush 92.5 in San Luis Obispo County, and online at Eat, Drink, eatdrinkexplore.com. Also, check out our new free smartphone and tablet app. Simply search 3 words, Eat, Drink, Explore, either in Google Play on your Android device or in the App Store on your iPhone or iPad. This free app gives you access to contests, past radio segments, our Facebook and Twitter feeds, and you can watch live video of the radio broadcast while listening to it here on The Crush. Eat, Drink, Explore Media, your source for the lifestyle you love.
Delicious, nutritious, and fabulously fun.
Is this real life?
Best of all, your comments.
That was a real money saver. Thanks, Randall.
So did it work out for you?
Your hotel tip was spot on.
You're listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network. But don't just sit there. It's an interactive program, honey.
Are you sure this is legal? I don't know. It's fun though, isn't it?
Pick your pleasure. Tweet, chat, post, email, even call us on the telly. Whatever works for you. Our topics today, food, drinks, travel, and a whole lot more fun. So let's pop the cork on this thing and get the party started. Give it up now for our fantastic host, the wonderful and talented Mr. Randall White.
I think that's the champagne talking.
Good morning, everyone. Glad you can join us here for the show today. I am your host, Randall White, and we are coming to you live from downtown, beautiful, historic, friendly, welcoming San Luis Obispo. I think we're in the middle of a campaign to get people out there to vote for San Luis Obispo as the friendliest city. I know we're up against some other cities. We've been known as the happiest place to live. Certainly one of the most beautiful.
So why not happy and friendly?
And friendly. I have to think about that. San Luis Obispo is the friendliest place. People are happy. I'm trying to think how friendly they are. I have to chew on that one.
Well, maybe we can raise the bar. If we call them friendly,
right.
Maybe
then people feel they have to live up to something, and then they get out there and start doing it. I'm still thinking about that person that honked at me this morning. But they were, and the one that yelled at us, but they were coming off the off ramp, so they're probably passing through from LA to San Francisco. So,
there you go. Not local.
No, not local. All right, so we bring you as much current information as possible so you can enjoy your life in a healthy, fun, and sustainable manner. And Patty, this hour of the show is dictated by something we're dedicated for sure, but we're dictated by something we call a compass word.
Okay.
It's essentially a word that inspires us to explore foods, beverages, locations that we might not otherwise find.
So it points you in that direction.
Yeah, so we grab a word and then we start brainstorming. Mm-hmm. We need one category to be eat, we need one category to be drink, and one to be explore. So we try to find things that fit. Mm-hmm. And the week's word this week is flight. So based on that one word, we'll be
we're soaring.
Yeah. So for the eat category, it's where do you eat when you're catching a flight?
Okay.
And the best airport restaurants in the nation. Also,
I can't wait to be impressed by that segment.
How about flights and drinking? There is a bar in Sacramento, downtown. Mm-hmm. I don't know if we can get this guest or not because we've had some difficulties trying to contact him this morning. But there's a place called the Pre-Flite Lounge in downtown Sacramento, and it's been around since the early 70s, I think maybe even the 60s. Because I don't know if you remember this or not, but airlines used to have their ticket offices in like a downtown core. You'd buy your ticket that way. You'd walk into a United ticket office or what have you. And then they would wait for a shuttle to take them out to Sacramento International Airport. And while they were waiting, they would get their pre-flight drink on at this place called the Pre-Flite. Well, it hasn't changed. It's still 70s decor, and in fact, they've probably camped it up a little bit, you know.
Right.
So anyway, we may or may not head there.
Okay.
And then finally, which state is it that has the slogan "First in Flight"? And I know it's a little bit controversial because there's 2 states that claim to be first in flight.
Okay.
This one's actually on the license plate. We'll take you there and show you some modern day ways that you can take flight in this state with one of our travel writers, great guy named Gary Knowles. I've known him for years. I've probably interviewed him 200 times over the course of my career.
I can't wait to hear about that one. I just clicked onto the Pre-Flite Lounge website. Sacramento's best known secret is the slogan.
Yeah, it is. And it's one of those places where the bartenders kind of have a heavy hand.
Okay.
And so I like the neighborhood dive bars. Sometimes I feel like you get a better conversation there than
flavor.
Yeah, exactly. Than the fancy pants places. Those are fun to go to as well. But mix it up.
Yeah.
All right. We need to let you know that Kelly's at the Grill at Hunter Ranch Golf Course is the sponsor for this hour. The best kept restaurant. That's the best kept secret in Sacramento. This is the best kept restaurant secret on the Central Coast. It is open 7 days a week for breakfast and lunch. So that would be today. Head on in there, breakfast and lunch. Happy hour, also 7 days a week from 3 until 6. And then dinner Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So you can catch it. You can eat all 3 meals there today if you wanted to. Kelly's at the Grill at Hunter Ranch Golf Course, located on 46 East past Airport Road in Paso Robles. When you sit down and your server comes over and says, "Can I get you anything?" say yes, and we want to let you know that we heard about you on Eat, Drink, Explore Radio. Will you do that for us? We'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, so Patty, you know how airline food just gets the worst reviews. Terrible.
I just was lamenting that on my return trip from Europe was 36 hours of travel.
That just makes my head hurt.
It was 3 flights and a lot of airplane food and some airport food.
Did you have to pay for the meals or were they included?
There was one airline that we flew on twice that you had to buy everything if you wanted it. So
that seems to be the standard now.
And I got a $7 charge for using my card on that plane on top of the $3 little tiny soda that I bought. Yeah.
So it was a $10 half can of soda?
Yes. that would be it.
Now I'm angry. But I'd fight that. People should fight charges on their card. I just did it the other day and won $90-something from Skype. They tried to charge me for something I didn't sign up for. At any rate, Skype's good company. It's just this thing was not right. And I won. So there is a reason why those meals don't taste so good. You know, the airlines don't try to make them tasteless.
Really? They don't? Are you sure?
No. There's science behind it, as a matter of fact. This is according to a New York Times article. There are several reasons why at 35,000 feet a meal doesn't taste good. First of all, the change in air pressure as the plane ascends deadens about a third of your taste buds.
Oh, did not know that.
You're already starting with just a 66% flavorful meal. Okay. Then when the plane reaches cruising altitude, the cabin's humidity level drops exceptionally. You've probably felt that dry.
Yes. So dry. Yeah.
Well, this is by design to inhibit fuselage corrosion. I didn't realize that because I thought, why don't they just put a humidifier in the air? Because they don't want the humidity.
So they want it to be dry.
They want it to be dry. And if it makes the plane last better, I'm all for it.
Right.
So, but when that happens, if you've ever been in a really dry climate, like up in the Rockies, it can get really dry in the Sierra Nevada. You can't smell things as well, and when
true.
And when you can't smell,
that's part of the whole taste process.
Exactly. So now the nose is no longer assisting the brain in tasting. So you remove the humidity, you deaden about a third of the taste buds, and
this is all the more reason for airlines to have better food.
Well, they're trying.
They served me something they called lasagna, and I don't think it actually involved real pasta.
Oh.
Or
Was it salty? Because
to enhance the flavor?
They do. The airline food is exceptionally salty, heavily spiced. And get a load of this. Tomato juice sales are far higher on planes than they are in just, terrestrial grocery stores and such, because tomato juice is not as acidic in flight because you can't taste it as much.
Okay, so it's more appealing on an
a
airplane.
lot more appealing. I just thought maybe they had high sales because people were having Bloody Marys.
That's what I thought.
But according to this article, that's not the reason. Wines are bold varieties because subtleties of fine wines completely lost
on
apparently.
An airplane.
Yeah. And we should note that the airlines are hard at work trying to.
Well, I'm waiting.
Yes. In fact, in many cases, they've hired some celebrity chefs to change the whole problem.
Well, I thought as I was walking through first class back to find my seat in the back of the plane, I thought maybe they're eating better up front.
Well, that's true too. Yeah. I haven't been in first class for a while. All right, Patty, straight ahead. We are talking not the food that's served in the planes, but at the airports. This is going to be a good segment. You have to stick around for this one. It's because you just did a lot of flying.
Yes.
We're back in 4 minutes.
The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back shortly.
Did you know our weekly Saturday morning radio show also has a video simulcast on Ustream? You can watch it live or view pre-recorded versions while on the go by simply downloading our free Eat, Drink, Explore app for your smartphone or tablet device. To find it, just head to Google Play or the Apple App Store and search Eat, Drink, Explore. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Get the latest audio, video, and breaking news from Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience.
Hey, Zachary,
the Eat, Drink, Explore radio show
good,
is
good.
currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Curious about information you've heard on today's show? Just head to eatdrinkexplore.com and head to the weekly program summary section under the radio tab. We always list the websites and any other important facts associated with each of our guests we have on the program. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Thank you for being a regular listener to the Eat, Drink, Explore radio program. If you have any feedback for us, we'd love to hear it. Simply send a note to radio@eatdrinkexplore.com.
Hey, Zachary, if possible, are you able
The
to
Eat, Drink,
stick
Explore
around
radio show is
a
currently
few
in a
minutes into
local
9:30
commercial
half hour?
break. We will be back shortly.
I have something I need to get to. I need to leave like 12:45 the latest.
Okay,
Get
that's
the
okay.
latest
All right,
audio,
yeah, so we,
video, and breaking news
we just
from
had
Eat,
one
Drink,
of our
Explore
guests dropped
Media
out,
by
and
following
so,
us on Facebook, Twitter,
Patty and I
and
can
YouTube.
blather
We're
on.
easy to find. The
Okay.
URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Curious about information you've heard on today's show? Just head to eatdrinkexplore.com and head to the weekly program summary section under the radio tab. We always list the websites and any other important facts associated with each of our guests we have on the program. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back shortly. Did you know our weekly Saturday morning radio show also has a video simulcast on Ustream? You can watch it live or view pre-recorded versions while on the go by simply downloading our free Eat, Drink, Explore app for your smartphone or tablet device. To find it, just head to Google Play or the Apple App Store and search Eat, Drink, Explore. And a very good Saturday morning to you. Welcome back to the Eat, Drink, Explore radio program, heard live every Saturday morning right here on Crush 92.5 in San Luis Obispo and northern Santa Barbara counties. Might extend a little bit into southern Monterey County, and looks like we're keeping our fingers crossed. I think it's going to happen, that we will be expanding up into Monterey, Santa Cruz, and Santa Clara counties with signing on a new radio station soon, which I'm very excited about, Miss Patty Piper. So I'm your host, Randall White, and we are coming to you right now from downtown San Luis Obispo. And by the way, with that expansion, we will be staying in San Luis Obispo. Even if we were nationwide, I'm staying right here. I love it here. All right. If you've noticed over the past decade or so, airports are getting better at attracting top restaurants, giving you a much larger selection from which to choose when making a dining option during a long flight delay or extended layover, which you've had plenty of recently, Patty. We'll talk about your extended flights in just a moment. If the airport is exceptionally large, the vast variety of culinary possibilities can be overwhelming, as you know, let alone finding just the right place to hit if you're in a hurry to get from one gate to another. Fortunately, there's a great, and I added it to my iPhone the other day, a great smartphone app to help you navigate in such situations. It's free. Even a top 25 list for the best restaurants located inside the nation's airports. Joining us now with more information on all of this is Zachary Einzig, I hope I pronounced your last name correctly, with Gate Guru. Welcome to the program, Zachary.
Hello, Randall. Thank you very much for having me.
Did I get your last name right?
You did. You nailed it.
Right on. I like it. There's a rule with German last names. You pronounce the second letter. If it's an E and an I, then it's Einzig. If it was I and then E, it'd be Einzig.
Right.
So I think that's how it works most of the time anyway. So Gate Guru, the app, you can get it at gateguruapp.com. I downloaded it the other day, and it's a lot of fun. Or it's helpful, that's for sure.
Yeah, so I can start off by giving you a little bit of a background about Gate Guru.
Yeah.
So Gate Guru was first launched in December of 2009, and our primary focus was to help travelers figure out two things. So first, as you mentioned before, big airports, so where are the amenities in the airports? Right. And then second, which amenities are actually good or bad? So when we first launched, people often called us Yelp for the airports. And yeah, so, same concept. And when we first launched, we got great press because this is a situation everyone's been in, so it really resonated with people. And we were covered by many top outlets, and we were actually featured in a national Apple television commercial campaign.
Oh, fantastic.
Right, so that was just great for us.
And it works with GPS also, so it knows which airport you're at.
Right. So when you first launch, we're able to tell where you are. So we'll give you a list of closest airports for to make it more convenient for you to find the airport you're looking for quickly.
And then, can it help you, Zachary, if if you land at a gate, it will give you the route to get to your connection?
We don't actually give you the exact route to get to your connection, but you can enter your flight ahead of time, and we'll tell you which gate you're going to. So, if you have a connection, we'll tell you what gate you have to go to, and we do have maps, so you can use the map to figure out where you need to go.
Good. So I just ran into this situation at the Minneapolis airport a month ago, and we wanted a nice, healthy place to eat that got great ratings, and we ended up choosing poorly. So,
okay.
And then, of course, airport food is not the most inexpensive food. So I felt like I really threw like $40 out the window on food that was too salty, too sugary, and it was not what I wanted. So Gate Guru can help you find those places that not only get great reviews, but are in the genre you're looking for.
Yeah, so when you first launch the app, you're presented with a whole bunch of airports, and you select your airport that you're in, and then we break it down by terminal and concourse, and you select that concourse, and then we'll give you a whole list of all the amenities there broken out by food, shops, and services. And there's a search bar on top, so you can search for, if you're looking for healthy options or fast food options or burger or anything like that. So just search there, and we have categories assigned to all the amenities, and hopefully you'll find what you're looking for.
Fantastic. Now, you were published recently in Business Insider, I believe, with a list of the top 25 restaurants in U.S. airports. We don't have time to get to all 25, but can we run down the top 10?
I don't have the list in front of me right now, but I can certainly give you a few highlights.
Here, I can. I think I can find it.
I do remember the first one was Amy's Ice Cream. That is pretty classic, and that had the highest ratings and reviews.
The highest ratings and reviews was Annie's Ice Cream, and is that in multiple locations or one specific airport?
The one that we highlighted was in a specific airport. I believe they might have a few airport locations, but it's a real local feel. So it might just be one airport.
Yes, and you highlighted the one that is at, let's see here, the Austin airport.
Right. Okay.
The Amy's Ice Cream there. Okay, and so coming in number 2 is Vino Volo, the one at Washington Dulles, but I believe they have those at several of the airports here in California as well. This is like a wine bar.
Right. So Vino Volo, yeah, they're national. They're all over. And they're actually pretty interesting because they are this wine and cheese, sort of a classy establishment, which, you wouldn't associate necessarily with airports, but they're a great place, and all of our users rave about it because you go there and you just don't feel like you're in the airport anymore. Yeah. So, and from what I've read from the reviews, they have a very extensive menu, so it actually caters to all types of travelers, and it's just amazing locations. And we actually have an ad there where you get free olives when you go in and you use the Gate Guru app.
Really?
Yeah.
A free olive plate. That's not. I'm a huge olive fan, so I'm gonna look for. I like wine too, so I'll be going to the next Vino Volo.
I'm pretty sure they do bottles. They do bottles to go there too. So if you find a wine you like, you can get that.
Yeah, I've been through Chicago O'Hare more times than I care to count. And number 3 on your list is Garrett's Popcorn at Chicago O'Hare. What makes that place so great?
Well, Garrett's is, again, a local favorite. To me, when I travel, I try and find these local favorites. Airports to me are the first place you arrive to at a new location. So I like an airport to have a real local feel, and I try and find those places because if I'm there for a business meeting, I'm not going to necessarily have time to hit all the actual places in the town. So I know in the airport I can still get the real feel. So Garrett's Popcorn is very well known, and they just have tons of flavors. I think caramel something, and just lots of flavors, and it's a great. If I come home without bringing a big bag for my friends, I get in trouble.
I want to suggest at O'Hare Berghoff Cafe. Berghoff is a brewery that has been around for a very long time in downtown Chicago, but they have a cafe out at O'Hare. You can get a pint of their beer for, it used to be $5, which at an airport, $5 for a pint of beer is almost unheard of. And the place is jam-packed. It's in the United Terminal, I know. And the place that it's based on in downtown Chicago for the longest time had no bar stools. It was a stand-up only bar because that was how they were, and they were dead set against putting these bar stools in, but then they caved. Finally, people complained, and I think about 10 years ago they put the bar stools in, but it used to be a stand-up bar for a really long time. So that's my suggestion.
The airport location has seating.
The airport location does have seating, for sure. Okay, at the Minneapolis airport where I just was, that's a very clean and nice airport, by the way. Ike's Coffee Bar and cocktails. You can get your coffee, you can get cocktails, and it looks like food as well at Ike's.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely another one on the list. So as I mentioned, airport amenities are going through this huge change. You can find anything from your fast food staples to these fancy sit-down places to even sushi and steaks at airports now.
All right. Well, we will leave it there. Potbelly sandwich, by the way, is next on the list. And you find, we don't have a lot of potbellies out here on the West Coast, I can't think of, but you see them all over in the Midwest. And it's a good sandwich, I've got to say. And so it's nice to see them at the airports. Zachary Einzig, thank you so much for being on the show with us. GateGuruApp.com. If you want to load that onto your smartphone, it's free. Like I said, thanks for your tips. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
All right, you're listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network. I'm your host, Randall White. We come to you live each and every Saturday morning from downtown San Luis Obispo. Patty and I are going to shoot the breeze coming up next. And then our final segment, we head to North Carolina, first in flight. That is our compass word this hour, flight. And we'll talk about Angel's Flight coming up next. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back shortly. Did you know our weekly Saturday morning radio show also has a video simulcast on Ustream? You can watch it live or view pre-recorded versions while on the go by simply downloading our free Eat, Drink, Explore app for your smartphone or tablet device. To find it, just head to Google Play or the Apple App Store and search Eat, Drink, Explore. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Get the latest audio, video, and breaking news from Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Curious about information you've heard on today's show? Just head to eatdrinkexplore.com and head to the weekly program summary section under the radio tab. We always list the websites and any other important facts associated with each of our guests we have on the program. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Thank you for being a regular listener to the Eat, Drink, Explore radio program. If you have any feedback for us, we'd love to hear it. Simply send a note to radio@eatdrinkexplore.com. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Get the latest audio, video, and breaking news from Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Curious about information you've heard on today's show? Just head to eatdrinkexplore.com and head to the weekly program summary section under the radio tab. We always list the websites and any other important facts associated with each of our guests we have on the program. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back shortly. Did you know our weekly Saturday morning radio show also has a video simulcast on Ustream? You can watch it live or view pre-recorded versions while on the go by simply downloading our free Eat, Drink, Explore app for your smartphone or tablet device. To find it, just head to Google Play or the Apple App Store and search Eat, Drink, Explore.
Welcome back to the Eat, Drink, Explore radio network. Here now is your fabulous host, Mr. Randall White.
Well, thank you very much, Monica. I'm feeling fabulous today in my green, I don't know what print this would be, Hawaiian-ish? Yeah, I got this at, I think, the Lucky Brand store. And felt very hip when I bought it. That was several years ago, so I'm sure it's out now. But but it's nice and it's vintage.
There you go.
Exactly. Plus, I know that styles do come and go, but
You're gonna hold on till it comes back.
I am. I feel like there are so many styles now that, and I think they turn over with greater rapidity. Mm-hmm. Would that be the term? That they overlap, and then you don't know what's in style. So like almost everything's in style.
So we look at the 60s, the 70s, and we Anthony's, our producer, is laughing at you about not knowing.
Right. He says that's why he sees people dressed so poorly.
But we classify them as like the hippie era or whatever. I don't even know what to call the first 10 years of 2000. What is it? The
aughts.
The aughts.
Isn't that what it's called? Wasn't that called the aughts?
I feel like we had that conversation before. I think you're right.
Yeah. I mean, nobody calls it that, but I think
because it's 00. Aught is 00. So would you call it eclectic if you had to put a name on
the style from the aughts?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't even know what. Yeah,
or is that happening now? We're out of it.
Yeah, I have no idea. I am so I do not pay extra for fashion, as you can probably tell.
Well, I wasn't going to say it, but
one of my favorite fashions still is stuff from the 70s, and you see it coming back in different versions.
Really? I hadn't noticed that was your favorite.
I love 70s fashion. And we were supposed to feature a 70s bar right now for our compass word is flight. Mm-hmm. And if you're just joining us and you don't know what a compass word is, we use it every hour, or we use it the second hour of every show to solidify who our guests will be. One in the food genre, one in the beverage genre, and one for exploring. Well, this is the beverage one, so I thought we could do wine flights, but we did that last hour with Matt out of Matt Brown out of Paso Robles. Great segment, by the way, and we'll
His
have
blog
that.
is Hootenanny.
It's Hoot and then the letter N. Annie.
Hootenanny.
Annie's his wife, I believe. Hootandannieblog.com.
Mm-hmm.
And great information that he has. And so he was going down a list of different places in the Paso Robles areas that serve flights of whatever it might be. One place is Pithy Little Wine Bar.
Okay.
Yeah, Pithy Little Wine Bar
With
sells beverages.
The sodas, soda flights.
Yeah, and old-fashioned sodas, like cream soda and root beer and those sorts of
traditional
things. Yeah,
flavors.
I like that. Yeah. So if your friends are all drinking and you're the designated driver, you can go to the Pithy Little Wine Bar and you can get a flight of something.
You can still join in
and sample. Yeah,
very cool.
So at any rate, we were supposed to have this 70s bar on right now up in the Sacramento area, downtown Sacramento, right in the city core there. Mm-hmm. And it's called Pre-Flite. They spell flight F-L-I-T-E, though, and I don't know if they were just having fun with the word.
Or that's kind of a 70s-ish thing to do.
Yes, change the spelling.
Yeah.
So the Pre-Flite bar, and the reason why it was located there, at least according to the history section on their page, is that back in the 70s, there used to be a lot of ticket counters there, like American, United, Delta, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know if you remember this, when they used to have those, like United would have us, they had one in Corte Madera I would go to.
Like an office kind of a thing.
And you'd buy your ticket there. And then in some cases, they would have shuttles that could then take you to the airport. And so there was a shuttle system that would take you out to the Sacramento International Airport from downtown Sacramento. I think there's a lot of travelers because of all the politicians.
After you had a few drinks.
Well, back in the 70s, yeah. Or if you've ever watched Mad Men from the 60s, there wasn't an occasion that didn't involve, having a tumbler or two. So this Pre-Flite lounge was there, and people would order their tickets, and then as they're waiting for the shuttle to come, they'd go into the Pre-Flite lounge. Well, the reason why I thought it would be good for the show is I try to do a little research ahead of time to find out, this might fit everything we want, but it gets terrible reviews. No, this one gets almost all 5 stars.
It has a big following. I pulled up their website, and even their website is pretty creative. I like their slogan, Sacramento's best known secret.
It is the best known secret.
Yes.
And everyone raves about the place, not because it's high priced or high end or anything like that. No, they rave about it because it is their favorite dive bar.
Right. Now, did you take a look at the staff? They have pictures.
Yes, and they're dressed as airport captains.
Yeah, they're referred to as pilots, proud to serve. Now, if you scroll all the way down, you notice, and I don't know if she is a bartender or if she's a server, but Julie, and she's holding a picture of herself from way back in the day. I think, I'm just guessing by the context that she's worked here for a long time. She's in this... Stewardess is her title.
Right, yeah. And all of the pictures that are on the wall have to do with old school flight ads, and that sort of thing.
They're not stewardesses anymore.
No, they're not. No, they're flight attendants. And once again, our word flight. So Jason, one of the bartenders there, was supposed to join us this hour, but we couldn't get in touch with him. I think he worked the late shift last night, so he's probably sawing some logs right now. And
he'll be calling you later.
And that's okay. Yes. There is another flight that I want to tell you about this hour, and you can take it to a wonderful spot in Los Angeles where there are plenty of, nowadays anyway, there are plenty of restaurants and bars that you could hit up. It's the Bunker Hill area. It's right in the downtown core. LA has it, even though the overall terrain of downtown LA is pretty flat, but right there at the Bunker Hill area, there is a pretty steep hill. So back in the day, back in 1901, Angel's Flight was put in, and it is a funicular railway.
Love that word, funicular.
It's like a cross between a cable car and an elevator.
Mm-hmm. And it's a quick way to get up and down the hill, because imagine that hill's quite a workout.
Now, at least the ones that I rode in Lisbon, Portugal, had there were 2 cars, and one of them is the counterweight. So as one's going up, the full one coming down helps the one going up.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know if this one operates that way or not. It was closed for a while. There was an accident. I think the brake failed. And they were closed for about 10 years, I think?
Yeah, it didn't open again until 2 years ago, March 15th, 2010. And they redid the whole thing. And it took a lot of community support to help get Angels Flight going again. And it drops you off at a place on the top end where there are lots of fountains and water features and high-rise buildings. And they hold outdoor concerts a lot of times. I think on Friday evenings,
Very cool.
you can sit outdoors there because the water area is surrounded by several steps that
so it makes like an amphitheater.
Exactly.
Oh,
and
cool.
there's a great sushi restaurant up there. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head, but you can park down below, take the funicular up, the Angels Flight funicular.
So, Randall, do you know what a flight costs do you know how much the fare is?
No.
50 cents.
Oh, seriously?
For a one-way ride.
In 2012?
50 cents. If you have, and I'm assuming it's a transportation, it's called a TAP pass. So,
yeah, like a Metro card.
Yes, exactly, Metro card. For the LA area, it's 25 cents.
Because there is a Metro stop not far from the base of it. So you can get off at that whichever Metro stop that is. Do you know it?
I should.
Your eyes
I've been
made
reading.
this
No, go ahead.
Okay. So anyway,
my memory fails me. Continue.
Yeah, you can from anywhere in LA. You can avoid parking altogether, that's nice in Los Angeles. Get off, get off at that Metro stop, walk over, pay 25 whole cents, which won't even get you 7 minutes on the meter, and it'll take you up the hill, and then you can wander around the Bunker Hill area, which I think the Disney. The Disney Hall, I think, is up in that Bunker Hill area.
Oh, okay. Well, speaking of Disney movies, I'm transitioning here. This Angels Flight Randall has been in quite a few movies. Did you know that?
No, like which ones?
Okay, starting back in 1918, and I have to reveal that I'm actually looking at Wikipedia now.
Okay. Getting the lowdown on it.
A lot of people say Wikipedia, but I find it to sometimes be a really good starting place.
Well, for things like this, if there's something controversial, then people
further research is necessary.
Have these wars and they post things that aren't necessarily accurate. For things that have a historic and basis that aren't controversial, it's typically pretty good.
Okay, so Goodnight Nurse, according to this site, 1918 is the first time it appears in a movie, and then there is just a list of more than a dozen movies, including
The Muppets.
Yes, and Randall, the incredibly strange creatures who stopped living and became mixed up zombies, 1965.
Oh, one of my favorites. I love that movie. I've never seen it, actually.
Yeah.
But I love that. City of Angels with the Nicolas Cage. It's featured in that. I heard that Muppets movie from last year was really good, that it was more for adults.
Yeah, the Muppets definitely have an adult appeal. I didn't see it myself, but I did hear that it was well-liked, especially for people who are Muppet fans.
Yeah, and that it had a lot of adult humor. And so at some point they must have ridden the Angels Flight funicular in that movie. Hey, while we're on the topic of flights and food in airports, which was our last guest with Gate Guru, I want to mention the Spirit of St. Louis restaurant here it's Spirit of St. Louis, right? Yes. Here in San Luis, at the San Luis Obispo Airport, they have a great Sunday brunch that is bottomless champagne out there. So, in most cases, you've been dropped off at the airport and you're flying. And so
you can have the bottomless champagne.
Right. Otherwise, it's kind of a haul out there to the airport, so you'll want to designate a driver, as we like to remind people on this show, since we do bring up adult beverages on a regular basis. Hey, next segment, we are speaking with a really good friend of mine. His name is Gary Knowles. He's a travel writer. I have interviewed him so many times I can't even tell you. Never on the radio, though. I've always done it via television shows. And he just does so much traveling. He's based in the Midwest, but he flies around to different places, as a travel writer will. And we have an article on our website right now that all you have to do is go to our website and search North Carolina or just Carolina, and it'll be the first article that comes up. It's all about ways you can take flight, modern day flight, including like jetpacks in the state of North Carolina. So we'll be speaking with Gary just after the break here. You're listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network on this Saturday morning. I'm your host, Randall White. She's Patty Pyburn, and we're back in just a moment. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back shortly. Did you know our weekly Saturday morning radio show also has a video simulcast on Ustream? You can watch it live or view pre-recorded versions while on the go by simply downloading our free Eat, Drink, Explore app for your smartphone or tablet device. To find it, just head to Google Play or the Apple App Store and search Eat, Drink, Explore. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Get the latest audio, video, and breaking news from Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore.
You can hear me, but I can't hear you right now.
Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Curious about information you've heard on today's show? Just head to eatdrinkexplore.com and head to the weekly program summary section under the radio tab. We always list the websites and any other important facts associated with each of our guests we have on the program. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Thank you for being a regular listener to the Eat, Drink, Explore radio program. If you have any feedback for us, we'd love to hear it. Simply send a note to radio@eatdrinkexplore.com. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Get the latest audio, video, and breaking news from Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back on the air shortly. Curious about information you've heard on today's show? Just head to eatdrinkexplore.com and head to the weekly program summary section under the radio tab. We always list the websites and any other important facts associated with each of our guests we have on the program. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break and will be back shortly. Did you know our weekly Saturday morning radio show also has a video simulcast on Ustream? You can watch it live or view pre-recorded versions while on the go by simply downloading our free Eat, Drink, Explore app for your smartphone or tablet device. To find it, just head to Google Play or the Apple App Store and search Eat, Drink, Explore. And welcome back to the program, everyone. 9:49 the time on this Saturday morning. Hour number 2 of Eat, Drink, Explore Radio. This is our final segment for the morning, and we save the best for last. This is our flight hour. Our compass word is flight, and we take you to the state that is known, well, at least on their license plate, first in flight. People in Ohio might beg to differ, but at least in North Carolina, they say it's first in flight. And we welcome Gary Knowles, travel writer, to the program. Welcome to Eat, Drink, Explore Radio, Gary.
Well, it's a delight to be here with you, Randall, and I've got to say that you're right about the license plates. I've always been a little confused because the North Carolina plates, of course, say first in flight, but the slogan for the state is the Tar Heel State, and the Tar Heel designation came because during the Civil War, the soldiers from North Carolina were so steadfast in their staying in one spot that one of the generals said it looked like their heels were stuck in tar no matter what was happening on the front line. So as a result, they kind of got the designation Tar Heels. But ever since the Wright brothers, they've been kind of up in the air over there.
Right. So they're stuck to the ground, Tar Heels, but then so they're kind of known for opposite ends of things. Gary, I have had the opportunity to interview you many times, all of those on television, this time on the radio. So we know each other pretty well. I want to introduce you to my co-host, Patty Pyburn, who's sitting to my right.
Well, good morning. It's a pleasure to meet you, if on the telephone.
Yes, exactly. I love the article that you sent me that we have now posted at eatdrinkexplore.com that goes through all the different ways people can take flight in a modern-day sense in North Carolina. And I want to start with my favorite, which is the jetpack. It looks like it's something out of Lost in Space. You fly over the water. How does this work?
Yeah, well, the jetpack, I've got to say that it was my favorite. I didn't expect to find it either, Randall. It's one of those things where I kind of grew up in the space age, and I watched all of these NASA astronauts, trying the jetpacks out there in Utah and blasting around. And I thought, boy, would that be fun. One day I'm going to do that. Well, I was surprised to find that in North Carolina they actually have a jetpack adventure. It isn't exactly the same as NASA. NASA, of course, used a jet engine and would blast you into the air with it. This one actually puts a couple of propulsion units on your back. It runs a big hose up to these two nozzles that kind of fit on your back like a pair of aqua lungs almost. And then there's a huge, I want to say 250, 300 horsepower motor that pushes water up into the nozzles and blasts it through them. So you're really propelled by streams of water going up. And I talked to Luke Bear, who is one of the guys who's done this. I didn't get a chance to do it. I probably would have blasted myself into the water on it. Right. But Luke Bear, who is with Kitty Hawk Kites, where they offer this experience, says it's incredibly, totally awesome. He says it takes a little while to get used to using these mega force blasts of water that raise you up 35, 40 feet over the water.
That high? I was going to ask you how high you can actually elevate.
Yeah, he says you can fly up to 35 feet or sometimes a little more, but you got to really be careful. But it takes a little while to get used to the steering mechanism, and of course, if you lean too much one or the other, you kind of become a jet aimed toward the water. and he says that, as a matter of fact, if you're into trying this, you can actually go underwater with this as well, because the jetpack works to blast you underwater and pushes you through the water as well. So it's an incredible experience, they say, and they say you can get used to it. And I said, well, how long can you stay up on this thing then? And well, as long as that 200 horsepower engine keeps running, you can stay up there, provided you have the stamina for it. Because I have a hunch that being blasted over the water with those kind of thrusts probably is a little tiring too. But it sounds like great fun. I think it would be really fun to try that.
Now, Gary, what do you think would happen if we combine the jetpack and a zip line? Do you think we could get...
you could probably take off from Kitty Hawk and be in France in about an hour. I bet.
Certainly the first in flight.
Forget the Concorde. This is the new way to go.
Yeah, I've done zip lining before, and I see that's on your list.
Yeah, the zip lining. There's lots of zip lines all over the country. The place where I ran into it was over in Fayetteville, which is it's about 2 hours west of the Outer Banks area in North Carolina.
Beautiful area.
Fayetteville is pretty well known as a huge military area where the military has some great bases there, and Fort Bragg and some of their special operations are there. But they have this thing called Zip Quest. It's a 2.5-hour treetop tour where once you go, 2.5 hours go by, you haven't touched the ground. You're zipping on, I think it's like 8 different zip lines, kind of Indiana Jones-like, through canopy bridges, and then there's even a crossing that goes across a waterfall.
Wow.
And it's really pretty spectacular. So Fayetteville is the place you go for that, and that really is a lot of fun.
North Carolina just has such beautiful coastline, and I see in your article kiteboarding is very popular in some areas.
Well, kiteboarding is kind of one of those things where they've taken the best of surfboarding and put it on a kite, and you fly a kite out over the water. There's a long line that attaches to it, and you hang on for dear life, and you go surfing by the power of the wind that pulls you across the water like a great wave, like great kiting. And I said, as I watched the people who were doing this, it looked to me like it was a pretty strong college age and maybe a little older crowd. And so I asked one of the guys at the Kitty Hawk Flight School, where they do the kiteboarding as well, Galen Fowler, who's one of the staff people there. And I said, is this really just a college age thing? And he said, heck no. He said, a lot of the people that try it, in fact, a lot of the people that have come in for the classes are really baby boomers and older.
So
and
I could do it.
Well, he said last week they had a guy who was 76 years old who did it, and so I said, well, none of these people try it and just kind of, they try it once and then they never do it again. And he said, no, he said about 90% of the people that they put through their training classes there actually get certified. They have a certification program.
Wow.
And then they go on to buy their own gear to do it, which runs anywhere from about $1,900 to $2,600. But
so it's best to rent first. Make sure you really like the sport.
I would suggest you do that, yeah.
Well,
probably a good idea.
Sounds like lots of fun. So First in Flight, the slogan comes from Kitty Hawk.
Yeah, the slogan comes from the fact that the first human flight ever, at least according to the history as we know it, was the Wright brothers going down Kill Devil Hill and flying there. The thing that I didn't realize before I got there that really impresses me and still does to this day was I didn't realize how long they worked to really finally get a powered airplane that they could control and fly. There were plenty of gliders. People had used gliders and they can glide from one place to another. And depending on your definition of flying, they insisted that flying would mean being able to control the takeoff and the landing and steer this thing to where it wanted to go, rather than just sort of be at the whim of the wind.
And that historic flight lasted, 40-something seconds? And then they did land, but didn't the plane fall apart afterward?
Well, they almost every time the thing landed. I mean, landed is a not a precise term here because there were the crash landing was kind of the word of the day. But yeah, they flew, they say, for 12 seconds and they went 120 feet. And so that was the first flight that humankind took. And it was Oliver that wound up in it. Wilbur tried it first, and Wilbur's flight didn't quite make it. It didn't make it as a flight. So they were taking turns to do it, and Oliver took the second one, and he's the guy who did the first flight.
Well, Gary, I got to let you go there, but you have an extensive article with so many more things we didn't get a chance to discuss here on the show. Just go to eatdrinkexplore.com, search Carolina. It'll be one of the first articles that pop up. Gary Knowles, travel writer. Say hello to your lovely wife, May, for me.
I certainly will, and hey, it's a pleasure to work with you guys on the phone. Have a great day, and I hope you get out there to North Carolina soon.
Thanks, Gary. This hour brought to you by Eberly Winery, where you'll always find complimentary wine tasting, located on Highway 46 East in Paso Robles. Just log on to eberlywinery.com. That's EBERLE. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you right back here next week.